Hello, Sean Briscoe here. Welcome to CLSB Politics. So I get questions, and a lot of times I incorporate those into future videos that I do about certain subjects. This one was a good one, so good that there were enough questions where I said, I can do just a whole show on this, and it'll be nice and tight, and I think everyone could use the information. So this is questions about polling mostly, and it's from people making comments on my YouTube channel. Uh, this is from Reverend Moon 111. She asked some great questions, and I broke them down kind of one at a time. First one is which polls are most reliable right now? And that's a great question. I'm happy to answer it. So these are my top 9. I'm not going to read them out for you, but you can screen grab this or whatever. But these are my top 9. Actually, I'd probably go to YouGov more than any of them, and I think that's number 4. But they're all good, and a lot of them. The reason I like a lot of these is that you can get their whole list of questions, and that way you kind of know if their questions are tilting one way or the other. So it's very useful. Why do I think any of these are reliable right now, or feel good about for Kamala? Since I said on a previous video that none of these polls really mean anything right now. Well, I'm right and I'm right. Okay. So the closer we get to the election, the more accurate the polls are, because more people are paying attention. So their sample is going to be better and more accurate. But when I post stuff today, I'm looking for trends. I'm looking for a candidate that can't get over a certain level, and a candidate that's either going down, has kind of capped out, or going up. So those are the 3 things I'm looking for, and I look for it as a trend throughout multiple polls. So the other day when I shared the Kamala, which by the way, thank you everyone for watching. I mean, so many views. I appreciate that so much. The reason I posted those is because, for one thing, is the first any polling we've had since Kamala was running for office as president. So, I mean, it's the first thing. Also, they all were trending up, more or less. I've got a video I'm going to be putting out in probably tomorrow, talking about demographics and population density of the swing states, because I've been getting that quite a bit. So I'm going to do one of those. It's a long one, so I'm hoping I can fit it within 10 minutes, because I like to keep my videos tight. So, but yeah, that's the reason. The closer we get to the election, the more accurate the polls. Right now, I'm looking for trends, maybe not numbers. I'm looking for things going up or down or staying the same. Like right now, it looks like Trump's kind of flat at 46, somewhere between 44 and 46. You can't seem to do better than that on any poll that's worth anything. Oh, I also look at population of polling size. So you'll see at the bottom, it'll tell you sample size, or it'll give you a big number. That's the sample size. And then it'll give you a plus or minus, so you can adjust appropriately. And then I also look for polls that are just like, boom, way out there. Like anyone who's like up 15 points. Well, that's what we call an outlier, unless something incredible's happened. And, it's early in the week. More and more incredible things keep happening. So I know I know that I'm 100% will know who the VP is going to be, if not by Friday, by Saturday, because by Tuesday she's doing an event with that person, and every team needs time. You need at least 72 hours to get all the materials and the event and everything, and get all the logos set and all that jazz. That takes time. So my feeling is, I'm kind of surprised we haven't heard anything mid this week. By Friday, we should hear something, because by Tuesday, they got to have, Harris and whomever on a banner. So that you got to be able to print that, and you got to print a lot of them, because you're doing a big rally. So that's so those are the kind of logistics things, because I worked in campaigns, I look for. So moving on. What makes me think this could turn out any better than Kamala than for Hillary? Well, what you need to know about Hillary is that she was the most qualified woman um, ever to run for president. Arguably one of the most qualified people ever to run for president, because she spent 8 years in the White House with Bill, her husband. She had been a Secretary of State. She'd been a candidate, then a Secretary of State, then a senator. So she was a candidate again, and then she ran. Um, so she had 8 years with Bill Clinton, and then a bunch of years with Obama. She just had multiple decades in the circles of Washington, D.C. So, and that's part of what killed her, actually, sadly. Her campaign was, unfortunately, the Republicans. I mean, I'm talking Rush Limbaugh on to Bill O'Reilly and everything in between, had 40 years to hammer on her. 40 years of defining who she was. And yeah, that didn't work in New York because Republicans don't do anything in New York, not state level. So that wouldn't work on her in there. But, I think it kind of worked against her when she ran in 2008. And I was on Obama's team. So, but I mean, I thought our candidates were way better than all the other the Republican candidates. So honestly, if Obama had lost and Hillary had won, I'd be okay. Still a great candidate. Like I said, one of the most qualified individuals to ever run. So Kamala, I think they haven't had as much time to hammer. That's a huge, huge thing. When you have decades and 40 years of hammering versus Kamala has only really had the last few cycles, which is great. That's honestly how we got Obama. He hadn't been there long enough to get hammered, or so he was able to get through the gauntlet. So I think Kamala is a better candidate. Also, demographics have changed quite a bit. I've actually got a whole video I'm doing on that for all the swing states, because I'm getting a lot of questions about that. And honestly, the boomers were not super into it. I mean, they just based on the polling, female voters did not go for Hillary. And they just didn't show up. Also, there was a mixed thing where, of course, they had the FBI investigation, and then you had everyone thought, how in the hell could someone like Trump win in the first place? So no one really even took him seriously. So it was like this amalgamation of different things, 40 years of this, and no one took him serious here, and the media was all about her emails, which was a nonsense thing. So I just think Kamala doesn't have as much baggage. I don't think I think that it's a younger pool of voters, statistically speaking, and I think that's kind of that. I'm sure there's other reasons, and they'll come to me, and I'll bring those up later in other videos. But right now, that's kind of where I'm at. If the Supreme Court, and find a way to intervene, yes, throw election to Trump. Yep. Mm-hmm. So what we have to do is we all have to vote by such a huge margin that we shut them up. I'd like to tell you there's another way to do it. There isn't. We got to knock on doors. We got to GOTV, and we just got to kick as much butt as possible. There's no other way around it. I'd love to tell you, oh, there's a secret sauce, or there's this one part of the Constitution that's going to save us. If we learned anything from January 6th, that's no. What we have is a bunch of norms, and honestly, what the Republicans, Mitch McConnell and all of them have shown us over the last few years is that they're more than happy to throw norms out the window if it means they can grab power. And this Supreme Court is just a manifestation of exactly that strategy. So I'd love to tell you that there's something, but we just have to vote them into oblivion. So, I mean, I don't really know what else to say to that. I do have a great quote, though. Only the one who does not question is safe from making a mistake. So by all means, send me questions. I love them. I try to incorporate them in other videos, but this one just seemed pretty apparent and useful, especially as we plunge into August. It's good for us to have a kind of at least a basic understanding of what polls we should be looking at. And like I said, there are other good polls that I didn't list there, but honestly, if you stick to those 9, you'll be doing just fine. So again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you'd like to support this work, you can go to my PayPal. It's CLSB Politics. And hope everyone has a good day. I'm going to put this out right as soon as possible. So I hope everyone enjoys it. You have a good day.